Hi guys, this is Average Senpai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to be sharing my manga and light novel collections with you guys. I've been collecting them for 1 year and I have almost 300 volumes of mangas and light novels in total. As I don't want the video to be too long, I split the tour into 2 parts, and in this first part, we'll be focusing on the light novels. So here's how I organize my bookshelf. There are 8 shelves in total. I put my mangas at the bottom and my light novels at the top. Most of the light novels I have here are in Chinese, as it's my first language. On a side note, I'm using the very popular IKEA Billy bookcase, and I have 2 rows of books on each shelf. I'll be going through my collections row by row. I'll give a brief description of each series, some of my thoughts on them, and I'll be putting timestamps below to make it easier for you to navigate through this video. So let's begin the tour. We'll be doing it from the top shelf. So firstly, we have The Talented Summer, The Exit of Goodbyes. It's a mystery romance series that is completed in just 1 volume. It's so well written and I highly recommend you to read this. The anime film has also come out this year, but I prefer the light novel. It's written by Hachima Kumei, a new writer, and I love his writing style. The next one is Henjin no Salad Bowl. It's about a poor detective with a princess from another world, and it's a comedy series between them and the neighborhood they're living in that is full of weird people. It's a new series, I haven't read it yet, but it sounds really interesting. The next one has a really long name, but basically it's about a guild receptionist who doesn't like to work overtime because her adventurers cannot clear the dungeon. So having no more patience, she took up her warhammer and set out to defeat the dungeon boss herself. I also haven't read this, but it sounds like a decent comedy series. I have it up to volume 2. Okay, this light novel is about an older brother who got isekai'd and escaped from his demonic sister, but it turns out that his sister also got isekai into the same world, and the story begins from there. It's written by the same author who wrote My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex, so I thought I wanted to check it out. Next one, we have The Demon Sword Master of the Holy Sword Academy. It's basically about a demon king who sealed himself and got into a long sleep, but after he woke up, he found himself in the body of a 10-year-old boy, and he met a lot of Nii-sans in the Sword Academy, and it's a really funny, cute, and cool story. The art is really good as well, and I recommend this to anyone who loves fantasy series. I only have the first volume here, but I'm planning to collect more. And then we have Too Many Losing Heroines. It's a rom-com series that I enjoy a lot. I think it's a very unique series because all of the heroines in this novel have been rejected in some ways before. I had some really good laughs out of this series, and it's a lighthearted read. I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys rom-com. You won't be disappointed by this. Also, the illustrator for this series is Imigi Muru, who did the character design for Licorice Recoil, so all of the heroines here are super cute. I haven't read the second volume yet, but it's the next on my reading list. The next one is a rom-com series that I have read recently and I enjoy it a lot, Saijo No Osewa. After a kidnapping incident, our male MC became a servant at the female MC's house, and he got to study at an elite school. He made friends with a group of rich kids there, and I love the interactions between the different characters. The story is really enjoyable, and this series is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I have it up till volume 4, and oh yeah, I really like the illustrations for this series. Just look at the cover design, it's just amazing. The next one is Sasaki to Pii-chan. It's basically about a corporate guy who visited the pet shop one day and brought home a bird called Pii-chan. The bird granted him the power to cross between worlds, and I think this sounds very interesting. It has also received a few awards, so I'm quite excited to read this. Each volume seems thick, but I only have it till volume 2. Next up, we have My Wife in the Web Game is a Popular Idol. It is what it sounds like. One day, our male and female MC discovered that they were married to each other in-game, and the wife wanted to continue their relationship in real life as well. I have read the first volume, and I feel that the story can be cliché at times, but it's a cute and sweet story overall. There are some simple dramas, but it's a lighthearted read. and I have it up to volume 3. Moving on to the next row, we have Eromanga Sensei. I am a big fan of the anime and I thought I wanted to read the light novel before we get a season 2. The story begins with the female MC moving into the male MC's house as a stepsister, and he didn't know that she is an Eromanga artist that he will eventually work with. It's a rom-com series with tons of comedy elements, and I really enjoyed the anime. I hope the light novel will be as enjoyable, and I have this up till volume 10. Next one, we have No Game No Life. I don't think I need to explain what this series is, it's so popular and I really love the anime. We have been waiting for a new season announcement forever, so I thought I wanted to pick up the light novel. I actually bought this at the book fair and you can see that there are a lot of missing volumes here. I'll complete the collection sometime, but here's the box set of volume 11, it's so cool. Next up, we have Oregairu Volume 1, but this one is Yui's story, it's not the main story. I'm not sure what this is about, but as a big fan of Oregairu, this is a must-buy, and I'm very excited to read this. By the way, Oregairu was the first series that got me into reading light novels, so it has a special place in my heart. Then we have the first volume of the anthology. Basically, it's a compilation of short stories from different authors, including the original author, Wataru Sensei. I'm not a big fan of some stories here, but I really like the illustrations of Yukino by different artists. They just look gorgeous. The next light novel is a pretty refreshing one. It's about a VTuber who went viral after she forgot to turn off her stream. If you love VTubers, I think you will love this story. You get to see the interactions of VTubers behind the screen and the chats that are so similar to real life. But to me, I'm not a big fan of this light novel because I thought it would be more enjoyable if I watched real live streams on YouTube. The next light novel is written by the author of Violet Evergarden. From what I've read, this series has some really good reviews and it's a fantasy romance series. So yeah, looking forward to read this. The story is also concluded in 2 volumes, so it's a quick read. I want to recommend the next light novel, which is The Detective Is Already Dead. From the title, this light novel might sound like a mystery novel, but it's not at all. It's about the adventure of the detective and her assistant to fight against an evil organization. However, we also get to see the stories of the assistant's adventure after the detective is dead. The way the author tells the stories is amazing. The reviews for this series has been very positive and I highly recommend those who are interested in the character design to pick up the novel. It had an anime before but it was very badly done, so please pick up the light novel. Up next, we have The Two Sides of Voice Actor Radio. This story is about 2 high school voice actresses who host a weekly radio program together. Their personalities are complete opposites, but they had to show their great friendship to their listeners. So this seems like a comedy series that is pretty interesting. And then we have a very popular series called Alya Sometimes Hide the Feelings in Russian. It's a rom-com series featuring Alya, a Russian-Japanese tsundere who only speaks her true feelings in Russian. The catch is she didn't know that the male MC understands Russian, so it's really funny when we see his inner thoughts. Next up is Gimai Seikatsu. It's easily in my top 5 recommendations for this video. It's the traditional setting where the male and female MCs live together due to their parents' remarriage. However, the story is fresh and actually relatable. I really enjoy the way they interact and deal with problems, especially the male MC. He is one of my favorite male protagonists to date, and I highly recommend this to anyone who enjoys romance, slice of life with a slow but comfortable pacing. Please read it at least up to volume 3, I promise you will love it. I am also very excited for the anime adaptation that has been announced. I can't wait to read the 4th volume. Next one, we have a romance story between the experienced girlfriend and the inexperienced boyfriend. I've read the first 2 volumes. It's a really sweet story about 2 humans at the polar opposite of love experience, actually learning how to love by being with each other. There are some dramas they had to overcome, and once they did that, their relationship will be even stronger. I think it's a pretty decent love story. Next one, we have My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. I've watched the anime, but people recommended the light novel over it, so I thought I wanted to check it out. This is just volume 7, but I will collect the entire series soon. It's about a pair of step-siblings who used to be lovers, and it's interesting how the author tries to bring out their true feelings through multiple point of views to the reader. Now, Dead Alive Encore. It is basically a series of short stories about the dates Shido takes with the spirits. I think if you love Dead or Alive, if you love the main story, you'll love these side stories as well. The next light novel is Spy Classroom. It's about a group of female spies led by the world's best spy to complete impossible missions. It's super interesting, you can expect some good plot twists from each volume, and you literally can't stop reading it when you're halfway through. It's really that captivating, and I highly recommend this one. The anime for this light novel will also be aired in January, and there are some scenes that I really want to see getting animated, so hopefully it will be a good one. I've only read until volume 3, I don't know how many volumes will be adapted into anime, but I'll keep reading it. Next one, the Seishun Buta series. I really like the interactions between the characters, especially between Sakuta and Mai. The dialogue between Sakuta and other characters are also incredibly funny, similar to the vibe you get from the anime. There are 11 volumes of this series, and I really want to finish this before the anime movie is released next year. Moving on to the third shelf, we have SAO Progressive. This is an alternative version of the main SAO story. It covers all the events that happen in Ironclad from the first floor all the way up to when they finally clear the game. Luckily, the book is written in a way that allows you to jump in at any point. The whole series is full of interactions between Kirito and Asuna, and I like how funny and cute they are. You get to see how their relationship develops, and I personally enjoy it a lot. Although I have to admit that sometimes the story can feel a bit too long. I have this from volume 1 up to volume 8. If you have not watched the SAO movie this year, it's adapted from volume 4, which is this one. Alright, next up is Reign of the Seven Spellblades. It's a solid action and fantasy series with absolutely stunning illustrations. I've only read the first volume, but I loved it so much that I collected the rest, and I can't wait to read them. The story talks about two overpowered students, as you can see here, as they are trying to uncover the dark truths within their academy. I would highly recommend this series to anyone who loves action or fantasy. Even though it's a light novel, I promise it's super interesting. I have this series up till volume 5. Next up, we have Secrets of the Silent Witch. In this light novel, the main character is the only mage in the world who can cast spells without chanting and is praised as a true hero. However, the real fact is that she is actually super shy and she learned to cast spells silently just to avoid speaking in public. It sounds like a very funny fantasy series and it's high on my to read list. It's very new and I only have 2 volumes of this. Next up, I have the first volume of I'm Fine With Being the Second Girlfriend. I haven't read this yet, but the impression I got from the title is that this is a very spicy and messed up series, but it also sounds interesting at the same time. So if you're looking for a serious romance, I don't think this series will be for you, but if you're looking for something fun to read, I think this could be a good choice. Now we have the first volume of the story of a manga artist who was imprisoned by a strange high school girl. I honestly don't know how to feel about this series. It sounds very messed up, but it got my interest, so I pick it up. I might read it someday, who knows. Next up, we have a novel from YOASOBI. It's Yoru ni Kakeru. It's from the song of the same title. The only reason I picked this up is because I love the song and I want to explore the story behind it. Next up is the Akashic Records of the Bastard Magical Instructor. It's a story about an incompetent instructor and his students. This series is very popular in the light novel community as well, and I'll complete the collection in future. At the end here, we have a few mangas I got from watching the anime movies. Firstly, we have volume 0.5 from Jujutsu Kaisen of the movie Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Next, we have Yuru-Ken volume 13.5 from the Yuru-Ken movie. At the back here we have a full row of Data Life. I'm a big fan of this series and I have it from volume 1 up to volume 21. I know there are a lot of volumes for this and I want to finish reading this before season 5 of the anime, which is probably the final season. If you have watched the anime and you like the personalities of the characters, the spirits, you'll enjoy the light novel even more. It's funny and we get to see the inner thoughts of the characters, so I would recommend this to anyone who loves Data Life. I also have the fan book of Data Life. It has a number of rare short stories and information about the spirits. Now we're at the final row of my light novel collection. It has some of my favorite light novels of all time. Firstly, we have Chitose is in the Ramune or Lemonade bottle. This is a great rom-com series that happened to be my favorite light novel of all time. It features a popular high school kid trying to solve the problems of people around him. It's truly a masterpiece in my opinion. The characters are very well designed, the stories are beautifully written, and the illustrations hit hard. The story is very relatable as well, and I recommend you to read it at least up to volume 2. If there's only one light novel you would buy from this video, it is this one. I cannot say enough how much I love this series. I have it until volume 6.5. Next up, we have The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. It's a super sweet romance series about two high school students who are living alone, but they happen to be next door neighbors. They stumble upon each other and the female MC started to take care of the male MC, and that's where the title came from. It's a light-hearted read that will make you feel cozy and comfortable, and I think this is the perfect series to read after a whole day of hard work. It's super popular as well, and I would recommend this to anyone who loves romance and slice of life. I enjoyed this series a lot and I'm so happy that it's getting an anime adaptation in January. I have it until volume 6, this is the box set of it, and here's 5.5. I really like the illustrations of this series, it's gorgeous. Now we are finally at the last row of my light novel collection. Here we have Hit the Pig Liver, the story of a man turned into a pig. This story starts with a dude who died after eating a raw pork liver and got reincarnated into another world as a pig. Yep, this is an isekai, but this is the funniest way I've seen to get isekai yet. In that world, he met this girl who could read people's hearts and went on an adventure together. It sounds like a funny fantasy series that I would love, and I'm very excited to read this. Please let me know if you have read this before. Next up, we have Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world. It's a spin-off that focuses on Megumin and Yunyun before their respective appearances in the main series. If you love Konosuba, you'll love this. You get to see how Megumin bullies Yunyun all the time, and their interactions with the people in their school and the village. It's just so funny and wholesome. This is also getting an anime adaptation soon, and I'm super excited to watch it. I highly recommend any fans of Konosuba or Megumin to pick up this short story. Finally, we have Classroom of the Elite. This is easily one of my favorite light novel series of all time. If you have watched the anime and you like the concept of the story, please read the light novel. I think it's way more enjoyable than the anime. You get to see the inner thoughts of Ayano Koji that are actually quite funny, and I enjoyed every single volume of this. I like the story and the character developments and interactions from this series. It also won the Best Light Novel Award in 2023, so I'm very happy about that. This is also among my top 5 light novel recommendations in this video. I have a full collection of the first year up to volume 11.5, and for the second year I have it up till volume 3. As a conclusion to this video, these are my top 5 light novel recommendations from my collection. In no particular order, Chitose-kun is in the Ramune bottle, Classroom of the Elite, Seishun Buta Yarou series, Spy Classroom, and Days with My Stepsister. I promise you will enjoy all of the series here. If you watched till this point, thank you so much. Feel free to let me know any of the light novel series you like or you're planning to read. If you enjoyed this video, please kindly leave a like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!